hope everyone has a seat by now, but my name is Kelsey Nicole Nelson. I will be one of your presenters for this evening. It's an honor to see so many familiar faces from last year, and I'd like to personally welcome you all to the 2023 Defense Media Awards. Please, round of applause for what we are going to be experiencing tonight. We'd like to give a warm welcome to all of tonight's sponsors, all of tonight's special guests, and of course, all of tonight's honorees. We are super excited to be awarding awards for some of the best in defense journalism. Again, some of the best and brightest in defense journalism are in this room tonight. So if you look around the room, and you guys can look around the room again, you guys again are with some of the best journalists that this country has to offer. It's a privilege and honor to be here starting the awards tonight. I work here in Washington, D.C. as a journalist. I am also a professor right down the street from here at George Washington University, so teaching the future of journalism. And I can say it's in very bright hands, very bright hands. And I can't wait to share tonight with my students on Tuesday when I'm back in class bright and early at 8 a.m. But we're going to get tonight started. We have a lot of awards to give out. We have a lot of great presenters. And then standing behind me, I'm very honored to introduce Mr. Peter Bradfield. He is the man why we are all here, why some of you all flew in, some of you all drove here, but he is the brains behind the operation. And again, truly somebody that takes this very seriously and takes it at the highest level. So without further ado, please help me welcome Mr. Peter Bradfield to the stage. Welcome, Peter.
Well, hello and good evening and congratulations. I think looking around the room tonight that this might be the biggest ever media awards we've ever put on. Thank you very much. Firstly, allow me to also thank Northrop Grumman for the wonderful reception. Thank you, Northrop Grumman. As you can see, we're going to have a few changes tonight. We're missing our dude in the red coat. I'm sure he would love to be here, and he sends you all his very best wishes. So good luck, Richard, and we hope to see you again next time round. Those of you that were kind enough to make nominations were also very patient and considerate and had to tackle our new nominations system, which basically replaced me. I tried to keep it as simple as possible, but thank you for your patience with that, and thank you for everyone that put nominations in, as reflected this evening. Fantastic number of nominations, and I think that that will be reflected when we see who the winners are tonight. But don't forget, finalists, you're all winners, and thank you for making it through to be finalists. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank our sponsors. We've got a couple of nice new sponsors. Welcome, SAIC, General Dynamics. Thank you so much for that. And thank you to all our regular sponsors for returning. It's fantastic to know that you're here year after year, and hopefully next year and the year after that, and more years. But thank you, sponsors. And our judging panel has been increased, and our judging panel also had to grapple with the new nominations procedure because they had to judge according to this wonderful software that they had to judge by. So thank you, judges, for your patience with that, and I hope that the judging experience proved suitable for such an occasion as tonight. I'm not going to say too much, but you will notice that in the brochure that this year we have a different award. We've never had it before, a Lifetime Achievement Award. Normally at this event we have outstanding achievements, which of course we do have. We have our regular outstanding achievements, but this year we've got a Lifetime Achievement Award. Unfortunately, the recipient is not able to be with us, but a 60-year career, I think that is worthy of Lifetime Achievement. So you'll see about that later on, but that's a first for us tonight. So thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for being a record-breaking event. I hope you have a wonderful time this evening, and of course, I hope you have a hugely successful AUSA. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much again, Peter, for that. And thank you again to you all. It means a lot that, again, we're here in our 6th year in DC and that we have record-breaking numbers. We are getting bigger and better each and every year, and it's thanks to all of you. And now we'll get to one of the favorite parts of the evening. I want to thank our National Press Club staff because they are now going to serve dinner, and we'll start promptly in about 30 minutes with the award ceremony. So everyone, please enjoy your dinner tonight. Thank you so much. And again, if you guys can take your seats just momentarily, we're going to get back to dinner. We just have one quick part of the agenda we'd like to get to. All right, so again, I hope everyone's enjoying their wonderful dinner presented by our great chef here at the National Press Club. But as is customary, we'd like to honor and recognize the heads of state that we have here tonight. So again, we first like to honor the heads of state that we have here tonight, representing their respective countries. So as is a custom here, we'd like to do a toast. So if you don't have to have a wine glass. If you don't drink, you can use water. But if everyone could raise their glass, can raise it high so I can see everyone's glasses. Perfect. And this first toast is to the heads of state of the countries represented here tonight. So let's say heads of state on 3. All right, 1, 2, 3. Toast to the heads of state. All right, thank you. You can take a sip if you'd like. And then our next toast tonight is the main reason why we're here. And this is going to be for excellence in defense journalism, all right? So this next toast is for excellence in defense journalism. So one more time, we're going to do a toast. All right, I'm seeing all the wine glasses. Thank you for your participation. So now on 3, let's do for excellence in defense journalism, all right? 1, 2, 3, for excellence in defense journalism. All right, thank you so much. I'm gonna let you guys get back to your meal. We'll begin promptly in about 30 more minutes with a great act of entertainment, so enjoy your dessert. It is now my honor and pleasure to introduce someone, and if you've been here before or years past, you know exactly who I'm about to introduce. So hopefully you're not too full to laugh, because that's exactly what we're about to do with our next special guest. He's performed all around the country. He actually just flew back in to be here with us this evening. He's been all over TV. If you are into comedy, you probably know the man that I'm about to introduce. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up America's, and I mean this, America's hardest working comedian, none other than Robert Mack, to the stage. Please give him a warm round of applause for Mr. Robert Mack.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hello, friends. I'm unsung comedy legend Robert Mack from robertmack.com, trademark. And being here tonight is an absolute thrill for all of you. Thank you so much for coming to my show. And please, please hang out afterwards, because there's going to be some awards. So I think you'll enjoy that. I want to apologize if I seem a little haggard. I've been working a lot. On Friday, I had 2 shows, one of which was for a bunch of Hollywood industry people. Yesterday, I had 3 shows. 2 of them were in Atlanta, Georgia. One was at a science convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a big fan of science. I follow it religiously. So I've been all over, and if I sound funny tonight, I apologize, but the last couple of days, I've been really, really funny. So please explain that one to the quiet people. Okay, let's welcome everyone to Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for coming. I love coming to Washington myself. It's my favorite time of year. It's nighttime. And the thing I love, every time I come back to Washington, I'm reminded about all the great things that you can do here. This place drips with history and politics and great restaurants and culture and museums and diversity and parks. There's so much to do, you just can't park near it. But my main issue is I think the people who live here, the longer you live here, the more you take all of this stuff for granted. I show up and I'm an out-of-towner. I'm like, where do I begin? And the locals are like, well, there's some of the world's most powerful buildings over there and some world-class museums there and cuisine from every country there. And they don't even care because they're so focused. And it really reminds me of what the worst or the best thing about Washington, D.C. is, which is not living here. So you should try it. I think you'd appreciate it a lot more. And for some of you who might not know this, Washington is the capital of the United States. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about the United States because I think it's one of the premier countries in all of North America. And we have a legislative branch, and which is home to like America's oldest citizens. So it's... And they do a lot of work in the Capitol building, which you might recognize from a failed coup attempt a couple of years ago. But here's a fun fact for you out-of-towners. This is true. There are flagpoles on the Capitol building. And if there is no flag, that means Congress is not in session. If there is a flag, it means Congress is not working. So I don't see anybody writing these down. We have an executive branch, also a little on the older side. Here's another fun fact. I don't know if we have any like presidential trivia buffs. This is true. One of our presidents, and only one, holds a patent. Does anyone know which president? What's that? Correct. Well done, sir. You just won a 2-week train ride to beautiful Hawaii. Do you know what? Do you know what the patent's for?
For getting canal boats off sandbags.
Getting canal boats off. Oh, I had no idea. I thought it was because he invented the penny, to be honest with you. But something about boats. Well, great. Thank you. How did you know that?
You know everything.
You know everything. Correct. Well done. Let's hear it for somebody who's not on the stage. The judiciary is probably my third favorite branch of government because those guys interpret the laws that the other branches make and disregard. And it wasn't that long ago that the Supreme Court legalized gay marriage, remember? Yes, they made it legal, not mandatory. What they said is that Americans have the right to marry whomever they want, which is what makes our country great, and it's why I chose to be born here in the first place. But I think the real story of America is the story of food. Who had a great meal tonight? Excellent. I probably ate too much. I had the lobster, and here's a little secret. When you show up at these things, just tell them I'm allergic to everything except lobster and ice cream, and it works like a charm. So I'm full of lobster, and ice cream's on the way. But I love food, and because I'm a semi-successful non-celebrity that most of you have never heard of, I have food almost every day. And I think really the story of America is, here's a story, and this is true. You might not know this, or maybe you did know it and forgot, or maybe you knew it and then got brainwashed by one of those conspiracy theories, like the one that says that the government is putting coffee in the water supply of poor cities so the caffeine will make people work faster, and that's why the water's turning brown. I don't know if that's true, but this part is true. The first people who came to North America did so 16,500 years ago. It was a Wednesday. They came here for food, and that's what started the whole thing. It's always been about food. They came through Russia, Bering East, and then Bering Strait, which was frozen over at the time, and then they made a soft right and never looked back because Russia, and they became Native Americans, which is a little misleading because I don't think it was technically America yet. So Native Pre-Americans or Native Pre-Americans, I don't know. All right, I'm not a science man. Do you happen to know that one? All right, we'll talk to him later. My family story about being in America began with the arrival of my great-grandfather and so-so-grandmother. If you guys could get them all at the same time, that would help. I know it's been a... But they came here from the old country, and they left a lot of things back in the old country, including recipes. And food is the second most important thing people bring here when they come here, right after non-copyrighted intellectual property and potential state secrets. Yes, we'll have to keep those, sir. Second door on the right. And when you think about it, if it weren't for immigrants, we wouldn't have burritos or pizza or Greek salad. Have you been to Greece? No, we'll save your bus fare because it's nothing like the musical. All right, no, it's a bunch of people who are like, we want to come into your country because we're hungry. Well, you picked the right place because the food is awesome and the portions are huge. And after the show today, when you guys are getting information about how I could work at your company holiday party, and you're giving me some money, I can show you on the money where it says e pluribus unum, which means all you can eat. That is what America's all about. The American healthcare system is designed for the well-being of every citizen's health care providers, investors, profits. And profits is first, and then like a tricky website to lure people in, and then jingles and slogans, and then health is like seventh or eighth. And the investors are laughing all the way to the bank, and laughter is the best medicine. See how it works? Here's another problem I have. You go to a hospital, they have one information technology system in place. You go to another hospital, they have a different IT system in place that doesn't speak to the first one. You go to a third, it's completely different than the others. You see what the problem is, right? We have way too many hospitals. I was just in 3 of them, and I haven't even finished this paragraph yet. Period. New line, indent. The chief information officers or CIOs of these companies could be more helpful. They could be more compassionate because it's not random information technology they're dealing with. It's someone's health information technology, or SHIT. And it's clear that the CIOs don't know SHIT. I learned this recently. I had a spinal infection and I had to do a sleepover at a hospital, and I learned a lot of stuff. For instance, your spine, sir, contains all your nerves. My spine contains all my nerves. Her spine, I don't have time to do everybody, but I think you see how it works. Your spine is where everything happens, and mine was starting to hurt. Every time I stood or sat or changed positions, my nerves were getting on my nerves. So I had to get an MRI. I'll never forget. It was a Friday. I had to do it that day. It was too painful to wait until Monday, and my insurance doesn't work on the weekends. I know, it's stupid. I can't get sick or injured on a day that begins with S. But it's inconvenient, but it's 2/7 cheaper than regular full week insurance. So I got my MRI, which is short for MRI, and I'm driving home, and my phone rings, and I never answer if it's from an unknown caller, which is weird because when I was a kid, every call was from an unknown caller. But I answer because my spidey senses, which I keep in my spine, were tingling. And they said, "Is this Robert Mack from robertmack.com?" I said, "Yes." They said, "You need to go to the emergency room." And I want to tell you guys, if you've ever gone to the emergency room, there's a ton of paperwork. And on all of the paperwork, it never once says emergency room. It just says But the guy on the phone says emergency room. And I said, "What?" And he got kind of panicky. He said, "Yeah, you have a spinal infection. It's getting worse. It's treatable, but it could spread. It's very mercurial. So get to the emergency room." And I said, "Mercurial, like Mercutio, the erratic character in Romeo and Juliet, whose moody demeanor ultimately leads to his own untimely death?" And he said, "Yes, both derive from the Roman god Mercury, who's quite volatile, not unlike your infection, which could explode at any minute. So get thee, good sir, to an emergency room. Godspeed, man." So presently, I made haste, and I drove directly to the And quick story, I have a comedy special out. It's called Mac to School, and the only reason I bring it up is because I'm trying to promote my comedy special, Mac to School. And when you watch it, I tell the story of my spinal infection. I call it the backstory of my backstory. And the bottom line is you should watch it, and if just 78 million more people watch it on YouTube, then somebody could pay off his spinal surgeon. So please check it out. That's it for me. You guys want to hang out and do some awards now? All right. Let's get Kelsey back up here. I'm Robert Mack from robertmack.com. Thank you.
All right, please, one more round of applause for Mr. Robert Mack. Check out his website, robertmack.com. All right, as Robert said, it is now time for the awards portion of tonight's program, which is why I know we're all here. Is the energy still up? Are we still good? Yes? All right, good. Because we have one more presenter. I'm excited to bring to the stage. She is a journalist that some of you guys have probably seen around the area and also from being here at the Defense Media Awards. So it's now my honor and pleasure to introduce Mimi Gurgis to now start the awards portion of the ceremony. So please give her a round of applause to Miss Mimi Gurgis.
All right, you guys ready to give out some awards? All right, before we do that, we want to just take a moment to acknowledge our friends and colleagues that are overseas in war zones, including, of course, Ukraine, but now, sadly, another war zone in Gaza and Israel. So we want to just acknowledge them and the danger that they are currently in. With that, we want to start with our very first award, which is our Lifetime Achievement Award. This is a first Lifetime Achievement Award. Peter mentioned it earlier when he gave the introduction. It's due to the recipient having a 60-year career in defense journalism, and that award is to be presented to David Oliver. David is not able to join us, so we're asking Andrew Dreja to come up on the stage to accept that award on behalf of David.
I'm very pleased to know David. He works with me, and I've known him a long time, very hard-working guy. If you see in the program, he says, I told my wife that I would retire at 80, but that didn't work. He is actually 81 at the moment. Only a few years ago, he actually got himself to Djibouti, and as probably about 78, he reported from there. And a couple of years before that, he went to Safe Syria 2, which is a military exercise in Oman, and he went there under his own power as well. So that was in his 70s. He's sent me something to read out to you. I would like to thank whoever was responsible for putting my name forward for this award so early in my career. The last time I won anything was in 1958 when my school awarded me the Biggles Omnibus for passing a few O-level GCEs, which include art and religious knowledge. However, the award, which recognises my longevity, is an encouragement to go on. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, our next award is for the Best Young Journalist, and it's sponsored by NAMO. So I'd like to welcome Carol Thompson of NAMO to the stage to help give out the award. Carol? There she is. The finalists for the Best Young Journalist of 2023 are Ryan Finnerty, Justin Katz, Irene Lowenson, Josh Luckenbaugh, and Mark Pomerleau, and Brandy Vincent. And the winner is Mark Pomerleau. Mark is exceptional in that he is a finalist in 6 award categories tonight, and what the judges said was that he's highly skilled with policy and technology, deep subject matter expertise, great sources, detailed reporting, and always accurate.
Congratulations, Bob. Would you like to say something? Thank you. Well said, well said.
Our next award is for Best Military Rotorcraft Submission, and that is sponsored by SAIC. So I'd like to invite Josh Jackson, Senior Vice President of SAIC's Army Business Unit, to the stage. The finalists for the Best Military Rotorcraft Submission are Andrew Dreja, Budget versus Necessity, How New, How Soon, Asian Military Review. Alex Hollings, Did the Army Make the Right Choice with the V-280 Valor, Sandbox News. Gareth Jennings, Need for Speed. Western militaries seek to expand the envelope of rotorcraft performance. Jane's Defense and Intelligence Review. Jen Judson, U.S. Army makes largest helicopter award in 40 years. Defense News. Alex Mladenov, Ukraine's Army Aviation in Action. Antares. Glenn Sands, Battlefield Born for Air International. And the winner is Alex Hollings, Sandbox News. The judges said, excellent analysis of one of FVL's bigger stories.
Thank you.
Alex, would you like to say anything? The record is 2 words.
There's 2 words. I'll be brief. This is my first time coming for these awards here, and to be honest, as incredible as this is, it's an honor just to be in this room with all of you. I recognize so many of your names from my research. I'm just glad to be here. Thank you.
The next award is for Best Naval System Submission, sponsored by General Dynamics. And I'd like to welcome Jeff Davis, Senior VP for Communications for General Dynamics. The finalists for this award, Harry Lai, Dull, Dirty, and Dangerous, Shepherd Media. Laura Heckman, Expeditionary Expectations, Navy Marine Corps at Odds Over Fleet Requirements. National Defense Magazine. Siddharth Kaushal, Sinking Feeling, How Vulnerable Are Modern Warships to Anti-Ship Weapons, European Security and Defense. Chris Cavus and Chris Cervello, the Cavus Ships Weekly Podcast. Doug Richardson, Trident II and Standard Missile 6 at Landmarks and Missile Performance, European Security and Defense. Suman Sharma, Directed Energy Weapons at Sea, European Security and Defense. And the winner is Chris Cavus and Chris Cervello, the Cavus Ships Weekly Podcast. The judges said consistently strong weekly coverage of naval news with top-notch guests and insightful lines of questioning, outstanding coverage, and keen insights.
Congratulations, Chris. And Chris, do you have anything you'd like to say?
My partner's not here tonight, Chris Cervello. He actually was in Baltimore. He's a huge Baltimore Orioles fan. Did not have a great day. But I couldn't have done it without him, and I want to thank Vaga Maradian and Katie Taplett for their help, their support. Thank you very much.
The next award is for Best Military Propulsion Submission, and the finalists are Michaela Easley, Physics and Cost Are Shaping Pentagon's Hypersonics Paths for Defense Scoop. Alex Hollings, DARPA's New Missile Hints at Truly Game-Changing Technology, Sandbox News. John Lake, The Light Blue Goes Green, Air International. Stephen Lucy, the F-35 engine is at a crossroads with billions of dollars for industry at stake, Defense News. Stu Magnuson, Need for Speed, Air Force labs pursue more powerful, efficient engines, National Defense Magazine. And Laura Winter, There's No Need to Be So Toxic, the Downlink. And the winner is Laura Winter, the Downlink.
Hey, Laura, congratulations.
The judges said, incredibly informative, yet also surprisingly entertaining. Obscure, yet so relevant. Well conceived and executed.
I think everyone wants to hear a little bit more.
Well, there's just no need to be so toxic. The story is about two very new young space companies that have come up with alternative fuels for on-orbit satellites, because currently we use mostly hydrazine, and hydrazine is really deadly, really awful, will blow you up if you just look at it. And there are alternatives, and one company's here in the United States, the other is in Europe, and so the FRL, as well as other governments like ESA, organizations are investing in these technologies, and there's just no need to be so toxic. So there you go. But I have to say thank you first, actually, or before I leave. But thank you so much, Vago, for hiring me without even reading one of my clips and giving me control over my own podcast so that I could do the kind of journalism that I like to do. Anyway, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
The next award is Best Training, Simulation, and Readiness Submission, sponsored by CAE. And I'd like to invite Ben Nicholson, Senior Vice President for Washington Operations, to the stage. And the finalists are Giles Ebbett, Tech Refresh. British Army overhauls its simulation capability for a new approach to training, Jane's International Defense Review. Tim Guest, Rescue Beneath the Surface, European Security and Defense. Alex Hollings, an exclusive look at how the Army is training drill sergeants for a new era, Sandbox News. Justin Katz and Valerie Encina, A Bloody Mess with Terrible Loss of Life, How a China-U.S. Conflict over Taiwan Could Play Out, Breaking Defense. David Oliver, Training at a High Level, Armada International. Davis Winke and Colin Demarest, GI Gmail, U.S. Army launches Google Workspace for troops, Army Times, and C4ISRnet. And the winner is Justin Katz and Valerie Encina, Breaking Defense. The judges said sobering and compelling in its breadth and depth, thorough, well-reported story on a topic that is relevant and chilling.
Congratulations. Would you like to say something on behalf of you and your partner?
Yeah, I mean, like everybody else said, it's just an honor to be in front of so many journalists that I respect, and I also want to make sure I give a special shout out to Valerie. She is an outstanding journalist, and it was special to share a byline with her at all, but to have it recognized is, it only brings it to the next level. And also a quick shout out to Aaron Mehta and Lee Farron, our editors, because they're the ones who tolerated us.
The next award is the Best Breaking News Story, sponsored by BAE Systems. I'd like to welcome Veronica Bonilla, Director of Media Relations, to the stage. The finalists for this category are Mark Kazalet, assessing the causes of the Shevardov incident. I actually had to ask a Polish person how to pronounce that. For European Security and Defense, Jack Detch and Robbie Gramer, Turkey gives cluster bombs to Ukraine, foreign policy. Justin Katz and Colin Clark, U.S. Senators raise red flags on AUKUS, breaking defense. Stephen Lucy, Deterrence the American Way, the new B-21 bomber debuts, for Defense News. Steve Trimble, Hobby Club's missing balloon feared shot down by U.S. Air Force, Aviation Week Network. And Davis Winke, Army pulls Be All You Can Be ads after on-screen narrator arrested for Army Times. And the winner is Mark Kazalet, European Security and Defense. The judges said extremely detailed analysis of a breaking story, commendable in its execution, timely and rooted in an understanding of dynamics influencing the situation, thorough piece, interesting news, and analysis.
Congratulations, Mark. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, only that if anyone can ever win one of these with a more unpronounceable title, I'll be really impressed.
We'll keep that in mind. Congratulations.
The next award is the Best Unmanned System Submission. It's sponsored by General Atomics Aeronautical Systems, and I'd like to welcome C. Mark Brinkley, Senior Director of Strategic Communications and Marketing. The finalists for this award are Samuel Bendit, The State of Autonomy, AI, and Robotics for Russia's Ground Vehicles, European Security and Defense. Ryan Finnerty, Iranian-made drones recovered in Ukraine contain U.S. components, Flight Global. Elizabeth Goslin Mallow, Agnostic Drone Guns Can Secure U.S. Infrastructure, manufacturer says, C4ISRnet. John Harper, Air Force Preparing for Tethered and Untethered CCA Drone Operations, Defense Scoop. Agnes Hellu as UAV tech spreads, Gulf firms bet on upgrades with drone-to-satellite links, breaking defense. Stu Magnuson, kamikaze drones, loitering munitions proliferate as tech changes battlefield for National Defense Magazine. And the winner is Samuel Bendit, European Security and Defense. And Mark Cazalet will be accepting on behalf of Samuel. The judges said the author's seemingly unrivaled knowledge of Russian strategy and technologies is on clear display in this expertly crafted article. Impressive and outstanding piece, deep and well-researched, highly relevant.
Yeah, that's all true. Sam's knowledge really is unrivaled in that regard. Yeah, he's incredible. And we're honored that he chose to write this for us. So, yeah, well done, Sam.
Thank you. Our next award is for Best Military Aviation Submission, sponsored by Honeywell, and I'd like to welcome Matt Milas, the President of Defense and Space Business for Honeywell Aerospace. The finalists are Thomas Klebachek, sorry, Thomas, Mission Not Accomplished, Russian Aerospace and Military Technology. Peter Felsted, Eurofighter Approaches True Maturity as a Combat Air Platform, European Security and Defense. Ed Hunt, Development Direction, Shepherd Media. Reuben Johnson, a Russian Su-34 accidentally bombed a Russian city. Here's what it tells us about Putin's forces, Breaking Defense. Akhil Kadidal, Scorched Earth, Myanmar Air Force increases airstrikes across the country, Jane's Defense Weekly. And Davis Winke, Army's About Face on Contracts Extends Aviation Officer Service, Army Times. And the winner is Reuben Johnson, Breaking Defense. And Aaron Maida of Breaking Defense will accept on behalf of Reuben. And the judges said, a story that goes beyond a headline-grabbing incident to understand why it may have happened. Thorough and interesting explanation that uses a notable incident to frame a more compelling situation.
Do you have anything to say on Reuben's behalf?
Sure, why not? Reuben obviously isn't here. Not going to speak too much on his behalf. I'll just say that he feels very strongly about the Ukraine war, as people who know him are aware, and has provided quite a lot of insight for me as his editor and I think for our community as well. So really happy for him that he won this award. He's done some great work for us.
Thank you. The next award is Best Digital Defense Submission, sponsored by McKinsey & Company, and I'd like to welcome Brennan Hoban, Manager of Communications for McKinsey. The finalists for the Best Digital Defense Submission, Aviation Week Team, Check 6 Podcast, Breaking Defense's coverage of IDEX, Alex Hollings, Why China and Russia Can Track the F-35, Sandbox on YouTube, Jonathan Lehrfeld, Simone Perez, and Jessica Edwards, Allies to Unite to Train Ukraine on F-16s, Military Times, Vago Muradian, The Defense and Aerospace Report, Washington Roundtable, and Laura Winter, The Downlink. And the winner is Aviation Week Team, Check 6 Podcast. The judges said, AvWeek has noticeably upped the tempo and scope of Check 6 podcasts. Newsy, relevant, on-site interview help the interest level.
Congratulations. What would you like to say?
Well, I'd just like to give a shout out to Steve Trimble and Brian Everstein and Garrett Ream, Irene Klotz, our whole team at Aviation Week, Guy Fernyhough in the UK. Everybody has helped. And we just have a wonderful team of very experienced journalists who report the hell out of stories. And they're great. Thank you.
The Best Defense Electronics submission is sponsored by W.L. Gore and Associates, and I'd like to welcome Jen Hopt, Marketing Communication Lead at W.L. Gore and Associates. The finalists for the Best Defense Electronics submission are Massimo Anati, Naval Launchers for Chaff Decoys, Naval Units Main Protection from Missile Attacks, Military Technology. Sydney Friedberg, Dumb and Cheap. When facing electronic warfare in Ukraine, small drones, quantity is quality, Breaking Defense. Bryant Harris, after years of inattention, Congress scrambles to save defense supply chain, Defense News. Mark Pomerleau, the Army has big plans for electronic warfare procurement in fiscal 2024, Defense Scoop. Richard Scott, Sense and Survive, MEWP recapitalization sets a new course for Royal Navy EW capability, AOC Journal of Electromagnetic Dominance, and Thomas Withington, Edge Cases, Shepherd Media. And the winner is Thomas Withington, Shepherd Media. The judges said whimsical in its construct, yet eminently articulated and backed with credible sources.
Congratulations. How is it whimsical? Can you explain that?
I have no idea, not being Tom Withington, so I'm not dapperly attired. Obviously, everyone who knows Tom is. He would have loved to have been here this evening. He's great at what he does. If you cut him, he bleeds electronic warfare, and what more would you want to have? Thanks.
Congratulations.
The next award is for the Best Land System Submission, sponsored by Northrop Grumman, and I'd like to welcome Lindsay Borg, VP of Integrated Marketing and Public Relations for Northrop. The finalists are Gordon Arthur, Best of Both Worlds, Shepherd Media, Sam Cranny Evans, Lessons from Ukraine, Armored Fighting Vehicles, European Security and Defense. Jen Judson, Futures Command faces identity crisis as Army shifts mission, Defense News. Kapil Kajal, Battle Lines, Indian Army shift to quick-hitting offensive capability, Jane's Defense Weekly. Julian Nettlefold, Mobile Fires Platform, review of the UK heavy artillery requirement, Battle Space. And Mark Pomerleau, Army working to reduce network complexity for bridges and lower-level formations, Defense Scoop. The winner is Jen Judson, Defense News. The judges said, a confident, well-researched, and authoritative story that demonstrates the value of a reporter sticking with her beat longer than many of her peers.
Congratulations, Jen.
Is that a lifetime achievement thing? No, I'm not old enough, right? Yeah. Thank you so much. I think this was one of the hardest stories I've ever written, and I'd like to really thank my editor, Marjorie Sensor. I don't know where you are in the audience. But my story came in at like 9,000 words, and she whipped it into shape. It was just incredibly hard, and she was magical with it. So thank you so much, Marjorie, for that. I don't know where you are. Raise your hand. There you are. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'll pass this back.
Congratulations.
Oh, wait. Congratulations to Davis, Winky, and Emma here. They got engaged today.
Congratulations to the happy couple. But let's move on with the awards. Next is Best Technology Submission, sponsored by L3 Harris, and I'd like to welcome Sarah Banda, L3 Harris Director of Public Relations. The finalists are Sean Carberry, Energetics, Community Warns of China's Edge Developing Explosive Materials, National Defense Magazine. Mark Cazalet, Dagger Fallen, Assessing Ukraine's Downing of the Kinzhal Missile, European Security and Defense. Mark Pomerleau, 18th Airborne Corps, Other Units Test Their Data Prowess at Scarlet Dragon Exercise, Defense Scoop. Richard Scott, Breathing Fire, UK Dragonfire turns the dial on high-power LDEW development, Jane's International Defense Review. Brandy Vincent, as it helps combat unlawful fishing internationally, NGA is posturing for an AI-driven future, Defense Scoop. And Laura Winter, there's no need to be so toxic, the downlink. The winner is Sean Carberry, National Defense Magazine. And the judges said, technical journalism that also doubles as investigative reporting, sounding the alarm about the U.S. falling behind China in yet another important aspect of warfare. Excellent workforce-related sidebar 2.
Thank you. Can you hold that a minute? I'm not Sean. I'm Stu, his editor-in-chief. And Sean has a terrible cold, and he wanted to spare all of you, not of himself. But so he did. I told him, you have a really good shot of winning something tonight, and I was right, fortunately. And I thought this story would be. So he did write a little thank you or note that he texted me. I'm going to read. So real quick. First and foremost, I want to thank Stu Magnuson, the greatest editor-in-chief ever lived. He's not only the greatest editor-in-chief I've ever had and the greatest person I've ever worked for, he's also the finest human being I've ever known.
He's not reading, guys.
Nah, I didn't write that. And then he went on. Should you have to deliver any words, I would just say I'm grateful for the recognition, thankful for the National Defense Magazine team, and sorry to miss the event and the opportunity to celebrate the journalistic accomplishments of colleagues and friends. The defense media have never been more important, and we are an essential community informing the public and keeping the government and industry accountable. So thank you on Sean's behalf.
The next award is the Best National Security Space Submission, and the finalists are Courtney Albon, U.S. Space Force Plan for Rapid Satellite Launches. It may finally take off, C4ISRNet. Teresa Hitchens, International Meeting Could Imperil Pentagon's Radar, Intel Gathering Systems, Breaking Defense. Garrett Rhyme and Brian Everstein, Big Military Sats Look for a Place Amid the Small Sat Trend, Aviation Week and Space Technology. Doug Richardson, Space is No Sanctuary, European Security and Defense. Brandy Vincent, From Z-Grams to C-Notes, Inside General Saltzman's Unique Approach to Leading America's Digitally Focused Space Force, Defense Scoop. And Laura Winter, the 4-part series on war and space, The Downlink. And the winner is, for the 3rd year in a row, Teresa Hitchens, Breaking Defense. And the judges said, great to see a story not repeated numerous times elsewhere, especially one that shows how the work of low-key multinational organizations like the ITU can have surprising real-world impact.
3 years in a row. How'd you do it?
Well, I just want to say thanks to my editor, Aaron, for letting me do what I love to do every single day of my life. I have more fun than a barrel of monkeys. It's all good. Thanks.
The next award is for Best Military Maintenance, Repair, and Overhaul. It is sponsored by Northrop Grumman. I'd like to welcome Lindsay Borg, VP Integrated Marketing and Public Relations. The finalists are Sean Connor's The Long Road, European Security and Defense. Gerard Cowan, Data for Upkeep, Predictive Maintenance, Seeks to Leverage AI, Digital Twins, Jane's International Defense Review. Brian Everstein, How Boeing Will Fix the KC-46's Biggest Issues, Aviation Week Network. Valerie Encina, It Has to Work, Inside the Military's Race to Solve an Ejection Seat Safety Conundrum, Breaking Defense. Flavia Camargos Pereira, Downloadable Weaponry, Shepherd Media, and Babak Tagvei, Keeping Iran's Phantoms Flying Air Forces Monthly. And the winner is Flavia Camargos Herrera for Shepherd Media. The judges said, very detailed and in-depth analysis of an emerging maintenance and overhaul topic, extensively reported and forward-looking.
Flavia is one of the greatest assets that we have in the business. She's not here tonight. She'll be in tomorrow, so you can all say congratulations to her tomorrow. Thanks.
The next award is for Best Cybersecurity Submission, sponsored by Sierra Nevada Corporation. I'd like to welcome Betsy McDonald to the stage. The finalists for Best Cybersecurity Submission, Gerard Cowan, Digital Future, How Cyber Will Impact Multi-Domain Operations, Jane's Defense Weekly. Colin Demarest, Advanced Work in Ukraine Blunted Russian Cyber Advantage, US says, C4ISRNet. Jaspreet Gill, Zero Trust is the Pentagon's new cyber buzzword. It might not have stopped the Discord leaks, Breaking Defense. Mark Pomerleau, Digital Defenders, a look at the evolution and elevation of America's Cyber National Mission Force, Defense Scoop. Davis Winke and Colin Demarest, U.S. Army app with Russian code reaped no user data, service says. Army Times, C4ISRNet. And Thomas Withington, Connection, Protection, European Security and Defense. The winner is Gerard Cowan, Jane's Defense Weekly. The judges said commendable for providing significant detail about cyber operations in a highly accessible manner, fortified by significant credible industry and government sources.
Obviously, I'm not Gerard. Hopefully, we were going to have somebody from Jane's here tonight, but sadly, not possible. So I'm delighted to accept this award on his behalf, and I will make sure he gets to receive it back in the UK. Thank you.
Well done, Bob.
We have a new award for 2023, and that's the Best Mobile Combat Systems submission. It's sponsored by Elbit Systems of America. I'd like to welcome Melissa Hobbs Hendrickson, Business Development Director for Elbit of America. The finalists for this award are Sam Cranny Evans, the role of wheeled vehicles in peer conflict and the tracks versus wheels debate, European Security and Defense. Sidney E. Dean, SITREP, the U.S. Army's optionally manned fighting vehicle, European Security and Defense. John Harper, America's new M10 Booker combat vehicle could receive AI upgrades to aid targeting, Defense Scoop. Alex Hollings, the S-400 myth, why Russia's air defense prowess is exaggerated, Sandbox News. Flavia Camargos Pereira, shielding the infantry, Shepherd Media. And Ashley Roque, Last Stand for IVAS, new challenges, delays as Army debates future of augmented reality goggles, Breaking Defense. And the winner is Ashley Roque, Breaking Defense. The judges said, solid USMC procurement article, clear and concise.
Very awkward. Thank you for everyone here. And editors and weird fascinations that I have to follow instincts, and thank you for everybody.
The next is the John Morocco Award for Best In-Depth Defense Reporting. It's sponsored by Boeing. And I'd like to welcome Paul Lewis, head of Boeing Global Communications, to the stage. And Paul would like to say something first.
Yeah, just this award is named in memory of John Morocco. He was a friend and a colleague of many in this room, whether from his previous career at Aviation Week or at Boeing. He left us 5 years ago, and we named this award in his memory. This is for the Best In-Depth Defense Reporting category, and it's really very appropriate because John at his heart was a writer and had a deep passion for defense writing. And one other thing I'd just like to add, Megan, his wife, wanted me to pass on her thanks for everyone for continuing to honor John's memory and keeping his memory in your thoughts. So thank you.
There will be 2 awards for this category, a Judge's Commendation Award first, and then an award for the winner. So the finalists for the John Morocco Award for Best In-Depth Defense Reporting: Sean Carberry, A Convergence in the Pacific, Allies Flex Muscle During RIMPAC Exercise, National Defense Magazine; Jack Detch, How Ukraine Modernized Its Post-Soviet Military, Foreign Policy; Robbie Gramer and Christina Liu, How Everyone in Washington Became a China Hawk, Foreign Policy; Shashank Joshi, Battlefield Lessons, Warfare After Ukraine, The Economist; David Saw, Demand and Supply, The Complexities of Artillery and Artillery Ammunition Supply and the War in Ukraine, European Security and Defense; Hope Sek, Robots, Marines, and the Ultimate Battle with Bureaucracy, Politico Magazine; Davis Winke, Numbers Game, Inside the Army's End Strength Scramble for Army Times; and Laura Winter, The Future of War in Space, The Downlink. And since there were so many excellent entries and finalists for this category, we've included a special Judge's Commendation Award, and that award goes to Hope Sek, Politico. The judges said, outstanding diligence and true enterprise journalism to tell a story that would otherwise have gone untold. Great diversity of angles.
Thank you so much. This story was about a decade in the making, and it was incredibly satisfying to see it finally come to fruition and be published, and it's a real honor to have it recognized tonight. So thank you.
And the winner of the John Morocco Award for the Best In-Depth Feature is Shashank Joshi, The Economist. He is sadly not able to join us, but here's what the judges said. A genuine tour de force special report that benefits from The Economist's peerless editorial heritage and analysis, backed by expert military and civilian sourcing, goes deep without losing its readers.
Obviously, I'm not Shawshank. I offer him my very best congratulations, and I'm really sorry you couldn't be here tonight. Sorry to Boeing.
I'd like to invite Adam Cano up to the stage. He's Senior Vice President of Edelman Business Marketing and head of the judging panel, and also Liz Maddie of RTX to come up and join us on stage.
Okay, a bunch of extra people I want to thank. First, United Airlines for getting me here with about an hour to spare, so really didn't think they had it in them, but way to go. More importantly, I want to thank all the judges who do yeoman's work. There are hundreds and hundreds of these entries to go through, and so I really this time want to name Mike Gething, Greg McCarthy, David Harrison, Todd Bletcher, Steve Lott, George Thompson, Greg Williams, Fahad Ibn Masood, and our own Mimi Gurgis. Let's give them all a hand for all the great work that they do. Thank you to Peter Bradfield for everything that he does. Yes, come on. Thank you to the National Press Club catering and AV team. Nobody turns a room like the National Press Club. As a co-chair of the club, I feel sort of obligated to remind you that this is the world's foremost organization for journalists. If you are a journalist, if you are a communicator, this is your home. If you're not a member, join me, see Jen. We'll get you signed up for that. So, yes, round of applause for the Press Club. So, final two awards tonight recognize outstanding achievement in defense journalism, not merely for a single article or series, but for excellence throughout the decades. Tonight's honorees embody not just longevity, tenacity, accomplishment, but true excellence. And indeed, both of our 2023 Outstanding Achievement Award winners exemplify that sort of heads-down dedication that is required of our craft. So our first winner started his journalism career in high school as a reporter in 1992, writing about the F-15. I'm not sure which is more remarkable, that he's still on the same military aviation beat, or that thanks to our friends at Boeing, there are still some really great headlines to be written about the F-15, so way to go, Boeing. In between then and now, our winner has worked at military.com, Jane's Defense Weekly, Flight International twice, and Aviation Week and Space Technology, again, twice. What hasn't changed is his dogged pursuit of a story, no matter how obscure or how challenging. He is rarely at a loss for words, but if you want to get an immediate reaction, ask him about that Saab Gripen flight that he took. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and recognizing the outstanding achievement of Steve Trimble.
Thank you. Right. Well, what do you say? So this does mean quite a bit to me. I happen to think that this job is pretty important, and it's really hard to do. So the part about that it's hard to do, we start with this pretty bold claim in this business, where we tell people in this industry that we will tell them something that they haven't already heard about the thing that it is that they do every day. That's a bold claim. And it's usually our advertisers who make it, not us. But it's a lot to live up to. And I remember when I started in this business 23 years ago, in this, in this trade press business, that I struggled with this at the beginning. It turned out to be a lot harder than I realized it was going to be. And I wasn't sure where the stories were going to come from, or how they, just felt lost in the business. Then I got lucky. In 2003, I got hired to replace Paul at Flight International magazine, and that meant I got to work alongside two people who I still work with, Guy Norris and Graham Warwick. And the thing that it was a bit absurd of the three of us in this office, because they were just way ahead of me but especially back then. And I remember like the third or fourth day I was at Flight, and something was going on with the F-16, and I don't remember exactly what it was. But I vividly remember Graham saying, well, they're going to have to modify the OFP. And I asked, what's an OFP? And the look that crossed his face, I was pretty sure he wasn't going to punch me, but I think he was thinking about punching himself for hiring me. But really what those two guys did over time was show me a way to get better and to shrink the industry down to size, to see the landmarks, to see the neighborhoods that you could explore without losing your bearings, and in a way to sort of track progress very slowly, very gradually over many, many years. And And then, I mean, it gets easier for a while, but then it doesn't ever get easy because the landmarks go away. The new landmarks come up, and there's new neighborhoods, there's new stories, new issues, and you're constantly trying to get your bearings of where things stand, where things are going. But it's very important that we do it, I think. I think there's two things that we really do fundamentally. The first is that if we do our jobs well, what we can do is hold up a mirror to the industry so that they can look at themselves and see the good things, they could see the bad things, and if, from a credible and informed source that they trust, and then they can do things about the things they don't like. And sometimes that's very emotional for them, sometimes it's very painful, but it's a necessary process. Yes. And then the second thing we do, and this goes all the way back to the 1890s when Jane's All the World's Fighting Ships came out, and it provided for the first time a public reference of military capabilities that wasn't reserved for military services, intelligence agencies, government officials. It was for the public. That wasn't what Fred Jane had in mind when he did it. He was a wargaming enthusiast, and so he was just trying to get a more accurate, reference for his hobby. But it was important that he did that. And then flight came along in 1909 and AvWeek in 1916, and then all the rest of us. And hopefully, what we do is still provide that. And I think it's going to be very important in the next several years ahead. So the last thing I want to do is just say thank you to my wife, who's here, Kathy. She has to put up with this and these rants that I have over breakfast sometimes. And she's always right, which is a fact I recognize sooner or later. So, thank you.
If you've read the bio for our other Outstanding Achievement winner, you'll already know that he has seemingly done it all. He created his own aircraft comic book at age 4, designed 21 war games, wrote or edited 26 books, and was published in more than 50 publications. If that isn't enough, the Soviet press once labeled him, quote, a CIA agent with whom accounts will be settled. In today's world, I'd call that reason enough to toast his accomplishments. Back on the right side of history, he's made frequent appearances on Capitol Hill, at think tanks, on college campuses, and anywhere else his unique expertise has been sought and valued. Frankly, we're delighted he made time for us. Please join me in recognizing the outstanding achievement of David Isby.
Well, thank you very much. Hey, I've got a birthday coming up. It's the big 7-0, and this is a great present. You can't get one of these on Amazon. But what makes it really meaningful is that the judges who actually thought to give this to me, these are people from our enterprise, from the US, UK, Europe, and that means that they've got, they're people whose job is to tell true stories and explain difficult and sometimes painful ideas and subjects in a clear and capable way, and that these people, live and die by their credibility. and they gave me an award. And that's really great. So thank you all very much.
And that's all the awards we've got to give out. So thank you very much, and another round of applause to all the award winners and all the finalists. Now I'm going to welcome Kelsey back up to the stage, and also all the award winners and sponsors for some pictures.
All right, thank you, Mimi, so much. And once again, congratulations to all of our award winners and nominees. Congratulations to our happy couple. Lots of congratulations to give out tonight. We so appreciate you all attending. We hope to see you all same time, same place next year. Hope to see all of your faces. And once again, if all of the award winners and sponsors for tonight could join me on stage for a group picture, that would be awesome. And don't forget, the after party is happening at the Hamilton Bar, right across the street from the National Press Club. So please, once you're done, join us at the Hamilton Bar right across the street from the National Press Club. Thanks so much and have a great night, everyone.